Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Radio W.O.R.K.S World. My name is Donia Youssef and I'm presenting today's Storytime show. If you've been listening in and joining in, welcome again. And if you're new to today's show, just a little bit about me. I'm a cancer survivor. I got diagnosed with breast cancer on April the 21st last year. 3 very large tumours had spread to my lymph nodes, and I had to go under 6 months of chemotherapy, radiotherapy, a double mastectomy, and my ovaries removed, being a BRCA2 patient. So I went through a long journey, and obviously I've got 2 very young children as well. So I was inspired to write my book, The Monster in Mummy, purely to help my children and my family at the time, because it was an emotional journey, and it was very difficult for me to be able to communicate with my children about the diagnosis. So I wanted to bring a book to help me and other mothers in the same situation, and obviously other families going through traumatic times too. So my book is now published and is available in Waterstones and on Amazon worldwide, and on my website at www.themonsterinmummy.com. Since my book, obviously I've now wanting to help others, and I'm helping other children going through cancer diagnosis themselves, or cancer diagnosis with very, very close members of their family, to help empower them and try and turn the traumatic ordeals into something, positive, to leave a legacy behind, and to just get their thoughts and their feelings out, because it can be really, really tough. And it can be even tough just talking to someone or talking to a therapist, because sometimes you just don't want to. So sometimes just getting it out, being creative, drawing, writing, I really do think it's great, and it does all aid and help with the communication. So today I want to read you a little story, which is called Jamie's Journey, and it's the cancer from the voice of a sibling. So I just wanted to, address all avenues, and today's story will be coming from the voice of a sibling. So I hope you're ready. Do get your children sitting down and comfortable, grab a drink if you need one, and the story is about to start. It's important that we share our experiences with other people. Your story will heal you, and your story will heal somebody else. When you tell your story, you free yourself and give other people permission to acknowledge their own story. As you read each page of our story, think about yours. This is our story. Hi, my name is Jamie. I'm 13 years old. I'm in the 8th grade. My sister Jordan is 10 years old. She's a 5th grader. The fact that this book is in your hands means you're on the road to healing. You see, I'm just like you. I'm the sibling of a cancer survivor. I get it. I've ridden the emotional roller coaster. One day you think you're fine. The next moment, feelings you never thought you could have are threatening to explode. Our life was normal. We were going to sleepovers, hanging at the mall, shopping. We had softball practice and dance lessons. You know what I mean? Really good fun stuff. But then Jordan started having headaches. She had them for more than a week, off and on. She was so tired, much more than an active 10-year-old girl should have been. Our parents made an appointment with the pediatrician. What we thought was going to be one visit to the doctor turned into a bunch of appointments. First, they did blood work. Then Jordan had to have a CT scan. The next day, she had an MRI at the Children's Hospital. CT scans and MRIs are ways for doctors to take pictures of the inside of a person's body. The doctors wanted to know more about what was making Jordan sick so they could help her get better. Our family waited for an hour to find out the results. Finally, the doctor entered the room. That is when everything changed. The doctor explained the test results to us. He said the test showed that Jordan had a brain tumour. Before we knew it, he said the C word, cancer. Life as we knew it was turned upside down. The doctors scheduled surgery for Jordan. Everything seemed to happen very quickly. It was all such a blur. I really didn't have time to think about everything. I watched as a nurse wheeled Jordan into the operating room. My heart felt like it almost stopped. What would happen? Would my baby sister be okay? Would the doctors be able to remove the entire tumour? Would she be the same when the operation was over? I was very worried. Jordan's surgery was a success. The surgeon removed every bit of the tumour. Now my little sister's long road to recovery would begin. Her treatment plan started in the hospital. She had to have chemotherapy, or chemo, which is special medicine that slows down or stops the cancer cells in your body. Jordan would have to stay in the hospital for 6 weeks. At this moment, I was relieved. The doctors and nurses kept coming in and out of my sister's room. They always disinfected their hands. Sometimes they put on a mask and a gown. Jordan knew that what was coming. Pokes, that's what they called it. Pokes meant that they stuck Jordan with needles, then they hooked her up to an IVS which delivered the medicine. There were plenty of other machines in the room as well. One monitored my sister's heart rate, another kept track of her blood pressure, another listed her temperature. What did all of the numbers mean? I listened to everyone and I began to ask questions. I was very curious. Lots of people came in and out of my sister's room. Not all of them were doctors or nurses. Child life specialists and child life assistants visited. I thought of them as angels here on earth because I saw Jordan smile when they opened the door. Each one of them brightened Jordan's day with smiles, encouragement, and love. Whenever Jordan saw them, she knew something fun was coming. Sometimes it was an arts or a crafts project, or it might be a visit from a therapy dog ready to give love. A few times it was a visit from our local sports star. Most of the time it was simply an invitation to come to the playroom for extra special activities. The best part was that the family could also attend. I was happy. After 6 weeks in the hospital, Jordan was allowed to come home, but she still needed to go to the outpatient clinic once a week for her chemo. Sometimes these appointments went on schedule, but other times an hour visit often turned into 5 hours. This seemed to happen more often than I wanted. When it did, I had to miss my dance class or softball practice. It just didn't seem fair. I was so angry. Sometimes I think about all the powerful medicine, what was pumped into Jordan's body. You know what? I'm blown away with the way she handled it all. Jordan did it with a big smile and a totally positive attitude. I was proud to be her big sister. It wasn't long after Jordan began her chemotherapy that all her hair started to fall out. There were lots of tears and there were jokes. Finally, Jordan made the decision to just shave it all off. That would be much better than waiting to find clumps of hair on the pillow every morning. Bald is beautiful. It was such a brave decision. Could I have been that brave? I was very inspired. The lives of everyone in my family changed. Those changes seemed to come faster and faster. My parents were wrapped up in Jordan's appointments. They worried if the chemo wasn't working. Would she need more surgery? They were always watching her. Of course, so did I, but I also started to wonder if even I mattered to my parents anymore. I cried hard sometimes, almost uncontrollably. I had such darkness in my heart that it scared me. I was feeling forgotten. Unknown feelings started to fill my heart. I felt anger. I felt fear. I was worried. I felt jealous. Was this normal? Did other siblings feel this way? My friends just didn't understand. But how could they? Their little sisters didn't have cancer, but mine did. I didn't want to bother my parents and talk about my feelings. They had plenty to deal with taking care of Jordan. I just needed to be strong, but I was so confused. I kept thinking, why my sister? Would I catch this cancer? Was it okay for me to have fun with Jordan when she was sick? Why not me? Would my friends still want to come over to our house? Started feeling really guilty. Okay, I admit it. I like attention. Before this happened with Jordan, everything was pretty equal. Both of us received compliments on our individual achievements, but now it seems as if nobody wanted to know about me anymore. Everywhere we went, Jordan got all the attention. Jordan got presents and he got free trips. Jordan got sympathy. Jordan seemed to get every minute of our parents' time. She didn't have to do any chores. She got to watch TV all the time and she had lots of new toys. Basically, Jordan was being treated like a rock star just because she had cancer. Did that mean I needed to be ignored? I didn't ask not to get cancer. I've made sacrifices too. I knew I shouldn't feel this way. I was just jealous. Did you ever feel like you've lost your parents? I did. My mum and dad were exhausted. Cancer talk was everywhere. Even when we didn't talk about it, I knew they were thinking all about it. I rarely got any alone time with them. My date nights with my dad were a thing of the past. Mum and I didn't even have time for shopping or ice cream anymore. I was feeling selfish. Deep down, I knew my parents still loved me, and I knew in my heart that Jordan did need more attention than me. One night, after Jordan had gone to bed, my parents sat down with me on the couch. They both held me tight, and they told me they knew how hard my sister's battle with cancer had been on me. They said they hadn't forgotten about me. They told me how extremely proud they were of the way I had handled all of the huge changes in our lives. Phew, I was feeling loved and valued again. There were lots of tough days and nights in the months that followed. There were many trips to hospital. One late night sticks in my memory. Jordan had a very high fever. We all piled into the car and drove her to the emergency room. I cuddled with my sister in the back seat. We were wrapped in a blanket and had her favourite stuffed dog wedged between us. Jordan smiled and settled in closer. I remember whispering, "I am here. Just hold on tight." I felt helpful. I remember another special day. It was almost a year after this emotional roller coaster had started its wild ride. Jordan and I were hanging out in her room listening to music, and she told me that I had been her hero. She told me that without my love, she wouldn't have been able to fight her cancer. Then Jordan actually apologized to me for having cancer. She said she was sorry for hogging all of our parents' attention. She said she was sorry that we were not able to do all the things we used to do together. And she told me she was sorry that I had to miss my activities. Well, I was completely speechless. One of our favourite songs was playing. Right then, I knew that the emotional roller coaster had come full circle, and I hugged Jordan with all my love, and I was very, very happy again. Remember how I said I had darkness in my heart? You know, I really didn't, any more than you may feel you have in your heart. What we really hate is cancer. Cancer affects everyone and everything. Cancer makes life all topsy-turvy. It's a roller coaster that is not very fun at all. Just remember, we are never forgotten. Instead, know that we are loved and treasured. We are sibling survivors. Right, so that's a little story from a sibling point of view. I also want to highlight to all, don't forget that there are places to go and people you can call for help at any time, and you don't have to travel this sibling role on your own. There's lots of different cancer support charities out there who and child life specialists and social workers at your hospital who are all there to support you. There's a lot of support out there, which I came to understand about too. So yeah, so sort of a homework study for children and siblings going through the things. It's really good to get your thoughts down, express your feelings and your story. Obviously getting out, diarizing all your thoughts. It's a really, really good way of just releasing those negative emotions and trying to get your head to terms with it all. There are no rules. So draw, write, scribble, doodle, whatever you want to, and just write it with love from your heart. Just write down whatever you feel. Just draw it to let out all of the sadness. Scribble or doodle away your anger or your frustration. It's all good. And what matters on your pages are your feelings. It's not about cancer diagnosis. This is not your cancer journey matching my family's journey. It's certainly not about spelling or if your sentences make sense. It's about you. It's about your power to define your own reality. You can choose to share it or not share it. You can read what you've written or drawn and even add new thoughts. So yeah, so just I'm trying to give hope and guidance to people in these situations. So yes, I will be back again next week, 6 o'clock for story time. And anyone wants to chat with me in the meantime, please do visit my website on www.themonsterinmummy.com or contact me via email at info@themonsterinmummy.com or info@doniayoussef.com. Also on all the social media channels, so more than happy to help. Good news, exciting news. We have just started working with a little young lady, and so she'll be working with myself on The Monster in Mummy 3. So The Monster in Mummy 2 is in progress at the moment, and we should have that completed by October. And the Monster in Mummy 3 has also just commenced too. So lots of exciting projects are happening, and we would love you to keep updated via the website with all the journeys and experiences which are happening currently. So I'd like to wish you all another wonderful week. Thank you so much for listening in, and yeah, have a fabulous week. Keep doing wonderful and keep happy. Take care. Lots of love. Bye bye.